Hello everybody and welcome to the 4th Meatless Monday. We are at an earlier time tonight because we're making a family classic that's really easy for kids and they really enjoy it, and we wanted to let the younger people join in. Once again, like always, we'll wait a couple of minutes to make sure that people can get on and can cook along. I do know there's a few more people coming on tonight, so we'll just make sure that everyone can get ready. I'm just gonna edit this a little bit. Whole camera angle thing is just a mission. I'm just gonna turn Jake's phone onto silent so we don't get things all night. Cool, people are slowly coming on. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who is showing up each week, cooking along, even if you're showing up just to watch. Like, it really means a lot, and it's super exciting that you guys are trying to introduce new food into your lifestyle. And like, especially I've been trying to make the recipes quite simple so that you can create this into your weekly routine, or you can even do it for meal prep. A lot of these recipes are super awesome for meal prep. Cool, we'll see. We'll give it, it's only 5:31, so we'll give it 2 more minutes and then we will start cooking. Let's see who else shows up. So like I said in the messages tonight, we're hoping to get this recipe done in 20 minutes, but this recipe can be done, you can make this sauce, you can cook it down for 2 hours if you really wanted to, and let the flavors really absorb, which is delicious. That's what I did last week, and the flavors are definitely absorbed a lot more, and the sauce becomes really thick and creamy, kind of like a really Italian sauce, rather than tonight the sauce might be just a little bit more water based. So definitely, if you wanted to give this recipe a go, the other awesome thing about this recipe is that it's so simple that kids can do it as well. So if you're 10 up, then you can definitely get your kids involved, and getting your kids involved in the kitchen is amazing. It gives them skills that they'll learn forever and maintain. Definitely, I'm super thankful that my mum always had made us cook one night a week, or maybe I forced her to let me to cook one night a week. Don't really remember how it went, but I definitely cherish those times as I was a kid. So let's see. We'll put the apron on and we'll get ready to cook. If you're tuning in and you're cooking tonight, I recommend that the recipe does call to put a pot of water on like when you're 20 minutes before you're ready to cook, but obviously because we're making this quickly and a 20-minute meal, we will put the pot of water on first. So sorry, as I just, inside out, Olivia, as I just struggle with my apron. Probably should have done this as I was talking. How was everybody's day? Did everybody have a good day? Is everyone excited for dinner? I really need to work on a better camera angle for these, but my little kitchen, this is the best I can do. Cool, let's see. So if you have 2 large pots, you can see my 2 large pots that are on the stove here. I'm gonna put one on a medium to high heat, and I'm gonna put some oil in there. This is gonna be our pot for our sauce. Hey Aspen, how you doing? We're just getting started. So we've got 2 big pots here on the stove top. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. I'm using chili oil tonight because yum, delicious. And we're going to put a nice bit of oil in that pot. Your other pot, your bigger one, you're going to take it over to your tap and you're going to put water in there. Cool. And we're going to put that pot to the boil. So put that on the highest heat possible, put a lid on top, and that will get boiling for when we're ready. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our one onion and we're going to chop it up. So chop off the end, chop off the other end, and then peel off the skin. If you're kind of in a hurry for time with the onion, you're more than welcome to like slice the knife through it and then take off the whole, like an extra layer of the onion skin, if you can see that. But normally I prefer to kind of fiddle with it a bit more to save the onion. That's just me being quite pedantic with food waste, but that's just all down to choice of what you want to do. Cool. So chop it in half and finally slice long ways and then really finely slice down the middle. And then same again with the other side. You don't have to be a master chef or a master blaze person to cook in the kitchen, as long as it kind of is sliced up. No one's judging you. Pop that in the pan and let that sizzle away. And then give your hands a good wash because they've got onion on them and you might be crying too. Cool. How's everybody going? Hi Dida. Hey Brett Bart. Oh, I keep going Brett Bart. How are you doing? The next thing we're going to do is get our garlic ready. So get your cloves of garlic. Once again, you can have as many cloves as you like. Like the recipe calls for 4, but if you're a garlic lover like myself, you can do more. If you don't like garlic, you can do less. If you're on a FODMAP diet and you're trying to figure out what's going on within your gut, then you can definitely not have garlic at all. So there's actually a New Zealand brand that have found this garlic substitute. It's like a garlic, it's like a powder that tastes like garlic but isn't garlic, so FODMAP people can eat it. I can't exactly remember the brand right now, but if you are in that boat where you're struggling with gut issues and you're trying to figure out and you're going through the FODMAP diet, then definitely I'll send me a message and I'll link you to that company. Not sponsored, by the way. If it was sponsored, I would remember their name. Hey Jessie, how are you doing? And then I would also love some feedback for the timing of the session. So we have been doing 6 o'clock and I'm just going to get my finger in there. We have been doing 6 o'clock, which has been working well for like the younger people who are, say, working and then like doing stuff after work, like going to the gym. So just roughly slice up your garlic. But then I really wanted to be able to include people with younger families. So definitely let me know if 6 o'clock is a good time, if 5:30 is a good time. And like I'm more than happy to change it up each week so that you guys can get the most out of the sessions. And as always, the recordings are always saved to Facebook. I haven't worked out how to save it to my Instagram, IGTV yet, but that will also come with time. So just roughly chop up that garlic and then also chuck that in the pan. Now, if you had the time, let there be light. If you had time, you would let the onions cook off a little bit more before adding the garlic, but because we're maximizing time right now, we just chuck it all in there. Get your wooden spoon and give it a good stir. Cool, let that brown off a little bit. Next, the carrot. Everybody get your carrot. I hope you guys enjoying this. Next, get your carrot and we're going to give it a good peel. get your compost container and peel it into your compost. If you have organic carrots, then you actually don't need to worry about peeling the skin off them. You can just give them a really good wash to get the dirt off, but the skin isn't actually bad. But by taking the skin off non-organic carrots, then you can definitely take away some of the the herbicides that are held within the skin. And then all we're going to do is slice it down the middle, because once again we're making this sauce quickly. We definitely want to have the carrot as small as we can. If it is a point in, say, the winter where you are running low on stock, like obviously carrots are kind of available all year round, but you say low on funds and you need to buy frozen carrots could totally work. There is no discrimination when it comes to a pasta sauce. So then, sorry, I should have shown you. So I slice the carrot in half, and then I slice the carrot into quarters. And then just once again, get a really good hold on your knife and run it through. Give your onion and your garlic a really good stir again. That should start to become aromatic now. Yum, delicious. There's nothing like a good dinner about to happen. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. There's nothing like a good dinner about to happen when you smell onion and garlic, let's be honest. So next is, hopefully your onions by now should be a little bit translucent. They're obviously still going to be a little bit yellow, but just becoming see-through. Cool. We're going to add our carrots. Slide that in. Get your wooden spoon again and give it a really good stir. Cool. Now we have to make our vegetable stock. So you might have liquid vegetable stock, that's totally awesome. I just get my vegetable stock from Honest Whole Food Co, so it comes in a little jar. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon to half a cup, and that's mainly because this vegetable stock I find kind of weak, so I like to just make it that little bit stronger. But if you've got quite a strong vegetable stock, then I definitely recommend using just half a teaspoon. So I just got half a cup and I put it into my 1 cup measurement. Then I got my 1 teaspoon. Sorry, I should show both screens. And place it in there. Give it a good whisk. You can grate carrot A. Yes, but you can grate your carrot. You can totally grate your carrot. I need like a little ding when people comment so I can see the screen. And then let's just pour that in. So this is going to help your carrots to cook and become soft, and it's also just going to add a lot of flavour and density to the sauce. Now, a good trick, if you want to, instead of using vegetable stock, you can use vegetable stock, and then if you have time, once the vegetable stock is cooked down, you can add a dash of red wine, let that cook down, and then add the tomatoes. So that just makes the sauce really, really decadent and rich. We're not going to be doing that tonight because it's just a quick, simple meal, but that's for future reference if you do want to. We're also going to add, once we have the stock in, just our seasonings. So I'm going to have half a teaspoon of the, half a tablespoon of the basil. We're using dried basil. I'm going to turn the pot up just a little bit to get it to a really good simmer. And work that out. Nice. when you're making a sauce like this, you don't want to put the lid on the pot as the steam evaporates, so the lid adds more heat and then the liquid will evaporate faster than actually being able to cook the carrots through. But once again, if you're in a hurry, you can always put the lid on. Now let's get our cans of tomatoes ready. So I'm just using Kerry's Organic Rowan Special this week at Countdown. So let's be honest, you're going to go organic when you can, or you can try. No pressure. So I've got the chopped tomatoes, and then I've also got the organic whole peel tomatoes. Awesome options for this as well if you're in a hurry is, I think it's Waddy's do the green can that have like flavors in them, like the basil, and I think Pam's does it as well, like the basil and tomato. Like, they are awesome for really quick and easy meals. Say if you're short on seasonings, you don't really have much, this is an awesome option if you are kind of lacking in that area. If your family like a little bit of spice to their meals, this is when you can also add, say, I would say half a teaspoon of chili powder or chili flakes, or you're more than welcome to add chili flakes on top of the dinner later on. And once again, while you're cooking, always hydrate. Does anyone have any questions? Is everyone caught up? Is everyone at speed? I know I'm going kind of quickly tonight just because I do want to hit that 20-minute mark. I do think it's going to be 25, I'm not going to lie. We didn't start till 35 past and it's already been 10 minutes. So, yeah, we're doing well. Cool, so let this stock just simmer away. Does anyone have any questions from last week, from the sausage rolls? Does anyone have questions in general? Is there anything anyone would like to know? Just while we wait for all our things. All good. Aspen, how were your sausage rolls? Because that photo of them was pretty funny. I did laugh. But did they taste good overall? Cool. So my stock has reduced quite well. There's a little bit left in the bottom, but for time's sake, they tasted amazing. They're so good. I'm so glad. The filling was out of this world. Yeah, and this filling, actually, the filling you can use for so many other things. Like my friend, one of the girls that was cooking last week as well, she was like, we have so much filling left over, what can we use it for? And she ended up using it for a shepherd's pie and said it was unreal. So you can also use them for burger patties, but you definitely have to add a little bit of flour to get the binding in there. But overall, it's so versatile. This is the great thing with cooking plant-based, is that so many things can just like move and transition into different recipes. You just have to kind of get that base knowledge, which is hopefully what Meatless Monday is doing for you guys. Cool, let's add our cans of tomatoes. So the reason why we do, and so obviously you can half this, or you can half this recipe or double it or triple it or whatever you want to do. But the reason why we do the whole peel tomatoes and the chopped tomatoes is because I find that the whole peel tomatoes give the recipe a real structure, whereas the chopped tomatoes give them heaps of flavour and density. So there is a reason in the madness of using both cans. Like, so see, for example, if you look into this can, can you guys see? Like, this is the whole tomatoes. Sorry, the lighting is terrible, but that is like really dense, thick. It's almost like tomato sauce, whereas the tomatoes in the chopped tomatoes is very runny. So you definitely need both. But that's the greatness about this recipe. So like tonight, once you've served yourself your dinner and you have sauce left over, what I would recommend is to leave it on the stove for an extra, maybe an hour if you want to, or just an extra half an hour. Really let the flavors absorb into the sauce, and then put it into little ice cubes and freeze it for next time. So when you're in a hurry or when you're in a pinch, you have dinner right there just sitting in the freezer. You just have to pull out, boil a pot of water and put your pasta on. So such awesome options. Yum. So let's just give that a good stir up. We're going to add in the bay leaf. My bay leaves are pretty sad, but so I'm going to add 2. But if you have big bay leaves, add 1. Now, because we're making this sauce really quickly, we're going to put the sauce in quite a, not a fast simmer, but like a rip-roaring, ready-to-go simmer. Whereas if I was letting this sauce for a couple of hours, I would definitely leave it like no higher than like, I wouldn't even put it on a simmer. I would just let it really gently cook away. Now we have to put our pasta on. So this is pulse pasta. So this is when people ask you, but what about the protein? Where is the protein? Oh, but yummy rolls great for lunch the next day too. Yes, they are. They're so good for lunch. Like, Jake took the sausage rolls for Smoko the next day and he loved them. So it is great and they're awesome for all eaters. Like, all eaters just rave about them. It's kind of like the spinach and feta roll. No matter what type of eater you are, you could like it. This is the same with these sausage rolls. But anyway, back to the pasta. So this pasta, it is quite different. It's out of the pulse pasta range, I definitely think it's the best one. Like, I don't have, oh, let me just double check. Yeah, I don't have the other pastas that they do right now, but they do like a penne pasta and a spiral pasta, a red lentil one and a green peas one. And I'm not gonna lie, they're delicious. Like, I love them. They're quick, easy, chuck them in the thing. But in terms of like consistency with pasta, this one is the best. The other two, you cook them and you eat them fresh and you do not eat them the next day. They go very grainy and like pretty rough. I've got the penne. Awesome. Yeah, juicy. So that'll be awesome for tonight, but definitely I 100% recommend like don't put it in Luca's lunch or like, because it goes very grainy and a bit funny. Yeah, and then when people ask like what about the protein? So this pasta is full of protein. It's literally made out of chickpeas, green peas, lentils, and beans. And so like it's just protein in pasta, and it's awesome. If you have kids that are fussy, that like you might struggle to get them to eat say chicken or mince or chickpeas, or this is a great way, like what child doesn't love pasta, to kind of not trick them but like get them into eating different types of foods. So really awesome for diversity and a child, everyone's diets really. So we're going to quickly put that on. There's only 2 of us eating tonight. So in a serving packet of this pasta, so for example, Jessie, I would say cook the whole box because you're feeding Keely, but it's only Jake and I. And when you read the serving information on this box, it says that there's 2 servings per packet. And I've actually attempted to eat half of this box, and it's not, like, for me personally, it's not possible. It is so filling. So I'm just going to cook half this box tonight for Jake and I. But like, for example, Bart, because you're cooking Bart, Kim, and Caleb, I would probably cook most of the box. Like, place it into the pot. Also, because it's not normal pasta, you don't have to salt the pot. You don't have to worry about that, which is quite nice. Make sure that all the all the pasta gets in the water, and leave that to boil away. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes to cook. So we'll put a timer on for 10 minutes. I'm actually going to put the lid back on because my water wasn't quite at boiling point yet. Just to get that water temperature really up there. And because I've got extra water in the pot, it doesn't actually matter too much if the water evaporates. Whereas when you're trying to bring flavour into a dish, if the liquid flavour, like the broth or the liquid that has the flavour in it, evaporates too quickly, then you do miss out on some of the flavour, which is really important. And then also our peas. So my peas are still in the freezer because you shouldn't defrost peas and then freeze them again. There's like a big antibacterial thing about it. So my peas are still in the freezer, so I'm going to get out my how much is it? 1 cup of frozen peas. So 1 cup of frozen peas is enough. If you're having it with the pulse pasta, it's enough like protein for 4 people. However, if you're having this with normal pasta and the tomato sauce, you want to have half a cup of peas per person for your 10 grams of protein. So that's kind of like if you're looking at your like macros and calories and etc, but just for like hindsight, peas are an amazing source of protein. That's why a lot of protein like plant-based protein powders are pea-based, because peas are just incredible. So I'm gonna get my peas out. We've got good old tallies tonight. If you have minted peas, I mean it works, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. Here's my 1 cup, and I'm just gonna get them out. Whoop. Oh, I forgot the tomato paste. How could I forget the tomato paste? I'm going to quickly add the tomato paste. If you were on it and didn't miss my step, then you can definitely put your tomato paste in now. Need enough. No! Okay. I'm just going to give it a real good square. We're all about just winging it in this kitchen, to be completely honest. That's what cooking is all about. It's meant to just be fun and enjoyable. Oh, give it a good stir. Check on your pasta. Give your pasta a stir. Cool. Peas are out. Peas are out. What's next? Oh, right. Now, I have some mushrooms and broccoli, and should I put that in the sauce now? Yes, I was literally just about to talk about that. So, I'm going to do the mushrooms and broccoli, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pan them on the side. You're more than welcome to put them in the sauce. However, if you're freezing the sauce long term, the mushrooms and the broccoli, because they're so water dense, they do change the texture of the sauce once it's been frozen. So you can totally, if you're going to be eating all the sauce tonight, 110% go for it. Put the mushrooms and the broccoli into the sauce. If you're going to be freezing it, I suggest pan frying them on the side. So what I'm going to have here is pan. And for my broccoli, I'm actually going to do my mushrooms first. I'm going to do 3 mushrooms, and I'm just going to slice them really thin. So I'm going to place them in the pan, a little bit of chili oil, maybe a lot of chili oil by accident. Cool, so I can smell my pulse pasta starting to really cook. It starts to smell quite, how do you describe that smell? It almost smells like what it cooks when you're cooking legumes from scratch, like when after you've soaked your chickpeas or your beans and you're cooking them. So let's check. I think it's going to be still quite hard. So my still quite hard, not ready yet. Now my broccoli, if you're going to put it in the sauce, this is how I recommend to cut it. So put it upside down and just cut it. So this means that you have small bits of broccoli rather than really large chunks. A lot easier to eat with the sauce and pasta. Then if you want to, with your stalk, you could grate it and add it to either your sauce or the pan on the side. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm just going to have broccoli. So there we have it. Broccoli cut up, and add this to the little fry pan. Does anyone else have any other ingredients they're going to be adding to their sauce? So I'm going to put some salt to pull out the water and the broccoli and the mushrooms. I'm now going to add my peas to my sauce. You can also add kale to your sauce or spinach. However, for this recipe, I just wanted to keep it really simple. Few limited ingredients, full of fiber and full of protein. But the option is there to expand it if you want to. Cool. Now give your sauce a taste, because this is where we have to salt and pepper it. So get a clean spoon and give it a taste. So good. Yum. So imagine those flavor, adding beans and mushrooms and courgettes. Mushrooms and courgettes. Yum. What beans are you adding? Like green beans? So good. So imagine if this sauce, if you gave it actually like an hour to be able to like cook down, that like it's just delicious. Like for example, I cooked the sauce down I did last week down for 2 hours, and my friend came around and was like, how did you make that? That was incredible. And it's just the time. Like flavors need time to develop, just like say children need time. They need constant energy and like what's the word, like attention to actually like develop them and grow them. And like I'm relating food to children, it's very different, but so very similar. Like the more time and love you give to something, and sometimes it's not love, sometimes it's just leaving it alone to figure out its own flavors and things that it wants to do. So I highly recommend putting the sauce on at say like 2 o'clock and then just letting it develop. Another awesome thing to do is maybe put it into the slow cooker if you wanted to, but if you were going to do that, then I would 100% recommend frying off your onions and garlic first, just to get those flavors in there rather than having the bitter garlic at the end. Cool. Check your pasta. That's 10 minutes exactly. Perfect. Get your colander out. One of these. And pour out your pasta. Now the great thing about this pasta as well is you don't have to worry too much about it sticking together, because yes, it has the gluten like it does in pasta, but sorry, it doesn't have the starches like pasta. There's a lot of starch and gluten in pasta that like makes it all stick together once it's cooked. How long should I simmer a small chai? Well, but seeing that you've developed your children, you've put the love and care into them for over 25 years, I think you've done okay. Simmering a child, you've done it. It's good. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this here, is give this pot a quick rinse. Give it a quick rinse. Turn the heat on. Put the pasta into here. And then I'm going to get my ladle and ladle some of this sauce into my pasta pot. And I'm doing that because I'm going to be cooking down this rest of this leftover sauce so that I can add it to my freezer. So I put about half the sauce in there, and then I'm just going to give this a really good twirl around. Another really good option for your pasta, for your sauce, is to put it in the NutriBullet, and that's what makes it really delicious and creamy, and then you don't have like your brought up carrot. But also if you let your sauce cook for longer, the carrot's going to cook down, and then you don't have any like vegetable bits in your sauce. It's literally just a tomato sauce. So my broccoli and my mushroom is coming along well. And I'm going to add that to the sauce. Make sure you turn off the hobs that aren't being in use. Going to get 2 bowls. 2 odd bowls if you're in my house, because that's just my life. You're gonna get this thing, pasta scooper thingy, and you're just gonna and then finish it off with some nutritional yeast. So nutritional yeast is like the vegan's cheese. It's cheese in the plant-based world, and it's full of B vitamins, which pretty much everybody struggles to get. It's just delicious. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on top. Nutritional yeast is also awesome in lots of patties. It's used as a binder instead of egg. Even when you're cooking with meat, you can use it as a binder. And there you have it. Let's see, how long was the time? 6:09, so 35 minutes. But ta-da, dinner. How good is that? I really hope that you enjoyed this one, that your kids and your family enjoy it, that it comes into your weekly rotation. The sauce you can put into the freezer and pull it out for when you need it. If you have any questions, I'll stay on for a couple of minutes. Next week, sorry, I should say this. Next week we are making we're going to go to Japan and we're going to have a bit of a culture immersion, and we're going to make dumplings, which is really, really exciting. They are delicious. And yeah, so that's really cool. There's probably going to be a lot, so you're going to be able to freeze them and use them for next time. And then, yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. But next week, dumplings. If you're part of the subscribers list, you will get the email at 7:30 tonight. I'll send that out. And really exciting things happening over here. We have made a few more steps in towards getting closer to the commercial kitchen and meal prepping business. Hopefully that will be launching next month on the 15th, if not a week later, but it's getting really, really exciting. I hope you enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much for joining in on Meatless Monday. Okay, no questions. Have a good night.